This isn't the stool. Where's the stool? Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is pretty good. That was not the stool. That was incorrect. That is a stool, but not the stool. I think I got this thing kind of fixed-ish. Oh, this seems much better here. Still has a little bit of inconsistency, but I had just a little bit of time between things I had to do last night to come down here and quickly knock this out. It only took maybe a total of an 1/8 inch off of the thickness running it through the planer to get the two halves flat, and then I got them glued. They're not the glue seam sucks. I don't think that it'll stay glued, but I'm just going to leave the pocket holes in it. There is about maybe a 1/16 of crown in this top, which I'm fine with. Like that I can work with. I could not work with the 3/8 or 1/2 inch crown that was in it earlier. So this will be okay. This will work for a top for a slap together shoe bench. I need to go. I have appointments today that I need to attend to, and while I'm out, I'm going to pick up I need to get some 1/2 inch plywood for the drawer bottoms, and I think I'm just going to get some project panels to make those out of. So then I'll be able to make drawers and put this thing together, hopefully before I take my time off next month. Speaking of the time off next month, I might end up recording videos to fill that time slot. I haven't fully decided. I have some ideas on what I could do during a week off, some quick, and so I might try to do that. And so there might be stuff up here for you to watch while I'm taking a week off. But I have been emailing publishers again. Over the past week, I've sent out 6 emails. Of those, I've received 2 requests for rulebooks. Actually, 1 request for rulebook, 2 requests for sell sheets. I don't normally send sell sheets unless asked. I send like a little blurb, player count, that sort of thing, and then if they're interested further, then we'll have more talk. So I also don't normally make sell sheets. In fact, the first person who asked me for a sell sheet, I had to go make one real quick. I had one for the previous version of the game, which was called Narrow Gauge, but not for this version. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I've been working on a train-themed game for 2 years now. Over 2 years. 2.5 years. 2.25 years. And I'm finally saying that version 3, I think this is version 3, Rival Rails Appalachia is what it's currently called. I'm calling it done. I'm very conflicted about that. My friend Jeff, who's been the #1 playtester on that game for 2 years now, came up with a really interesting market concept. But it was a very luck-driven market concept, which I felt like was pulling me away from my original design intent. My original design intent was to create a tight 2-player train game that has the feeling of stocks, majority bonuses, that sort of stuff, but also has enough variability that it's not a known game. Like you can't do mirror sharing. You can't do some of the less interesting parts of a 2-player train game. So adding a random-ish market, just felt like I was drifting farther away from that. The flip side is, it was a really fun game. Like it was more silly, and I think that's okay. So I might revisit it. I think if I were to go that route, I think I would strip the game back even further. Right now, it's pretty condensed. I think that if I were to go with the random market route, I could strip the game back even further and have a more fun, open world sort of route-ish or something, maybe area control type game. And so I might revisit that market idea as something else tangential to the railroading industry. So anyway, I've been sending out requests. I've heard back from a couple that I'm very excited about hearing back from. Because I have failed to find anybody even remotely interested in the United States, these are all European publishers. And I think that the game is a better fit for a European market anyway. That's just truth, I think. So it feels weird to be pitching, or not necessarily pitching, but to be sending out feelers. I have the Rummy game that I would like to talk to somebody about, but I also, the more that I sit on that game and the more that I play it and fiddle with it, I think it needs to be a little bit more than what it currently is. I think right now it's not really special enough. I think it's like, oh, that's neat, and then that's about the end of it. But I don't think that it has that secret that's going to make people go, let's play again. I think that if I sit down with somebody and play it, they'll go, that's pretty cool. Do you want to play this? And then we'll move on. And for me, finding the let's play again moments, those are the moments that really make me think, all right, this has got potential. So I'm still looking for a little tiny something extra to add to that design. Nothing, I'm trying to keep it to a purely cards in a box design. That was one of my goals when I started it. I don't want to add scoring chits or a board, or I just want it to be cards. So I'm not sure yet what I can add as a little something, but I'd like to take it up just a tiny, tiny bit and give it that little oh, let's go again. Right now you're just more like, just like a traditional rummy game, you're pretty much just playing at the mercy of the cards and the head-to-head aspect or the 3-player, whatever. There's not really much going on there other than, oh, you took my thing. Or, so there's keywords on a lot of these creatures that are like, they're undead, or they're magic born, or they're humanoid. And then there's characters like the assassin gets bonuses versus humanoid. So drawing into a really good assassin build and taking out the humanoid character that your opponent was maybe eyeballing, there's that. But in reality, if the opponent was eyeballing that humanoid character, they probably have enough strength on their side to take something else out. And that doesn't, it's just like, oh, I got the 15 points, you get the 12 points. So that's really about it. I would like for that to be a little bit more meaningful. And I've thought about maybe adding some sort of set collection mechanic to the creatures or to the dungeon or to whatever, so that you can try to gather more or something. I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. So I'm not necessarily pitching it. I've only been sending out pitch requests for the train game. And we'll see what happens. But this is priority right now. Finishing this project so that it is done before I leave. And I also want to start on the art project for November. That needs to happen soon as well. So I've got a busy week ahead of me, and then another busy week ahead of me, and then I prep for vacation. I prep for taking a week off, or not. If you have any ideas for what I could pre-record, something that's not fully an episode but also is in the vein of what we do here, I would love to hear your thoughts. I need, 5 episodes of whatever. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is sectarian. It is an adjective meaning related to the practices, nature, or activities of a sect. In the early 1900s, as the insurgency took on a more unambiguously religious and sectarian flavor, several pandits were killed and most of the rest fled for their lives. William Dalrymple, a Scottish historian and author. Sectarian, S-E-C-T-A-R-I-A-N. Okay, what is a pandit? P-A-N-D-I-T-S. I'm going to have to remember to look that up. Probably won't remember, though. So you tell me.